Welcome to live high school basketball action. We're at Cretin Derham High School for tonight's basketball game on SPNN Channel 35 between Cretin Derham Hall and the St. Paul Central Minutemen. My name is Troy Russell, and I'm here with Kwame McDonald. Kwame, how you doing this evening?
Doing wonderful. This ought to be a good game. You know, the last time these two teams played, I don't know what it was, whether there was a full moon or what, but it was probably one of the worst games. It was the worst game I've ever seen these two teams play, and I've been watching them for about 20 years. And there was something in the air last time, and neither team shot well. They didn't pass well. They just didn't do it. But tonight they look like they're ready. And if I were Cretin, I would not really want to be playing Central tonight after their loss to Highland Park, which knocked them out of a sole position in first place.
Tell me a little bit about what happened to St. Paul Central on Friday. I know the first time they played, we did that game at Central, and that was a marvelous ball game. Was that sort of the same kind of thing, or?
No, it was a good game, but the fact is that Highland Park, who is very well coached, and they have some talent on the team, came ready to play that night. And tonight, as I watch, you know, sometimes you can feel the electricity. And whenever you come over to Cretin Derham Hall, you're going to find a lot of electricity. And you've got that tonight with a lot of the fans, the parents, and students who are here to support their teams.
Well, it looks like right now there will be no national anthem. We'll probably go right here to the starting lineups. Kwame, I guess before we get started, we could talk a little bit about some of the key players for both teams. Let's talk a little bit about Jerry Webb for St. Paul Central. He's probably their key player, their best player.
Yeah, Jerry Webb is the key player. He's a young junior, and he gives them a lot of ability. He's a baby Scottie Pippen.
Well, it looks like we're going to be going right to it. There will be no starting lineups, no introductions of any kind. We're getting right to the game here. We got number 23, Dungy, tipping the ball to Webb. And there's two. Jerry Webb scores for St. Paul Central. Shot up by number 41 for Cretin, and that's Nick Thompson. Rebound by Rasheem Sharp. Rasheem Sharp up ahead to number 35 for Central. And that's Kenny Brown for two.
Kenny Brown is kind of reminds you of
Walt Bowser ahead. Basket good by Joe Mauer. Nice shot by Joe Mauer on the assist.
Joe Mauer's a sophomore. They're looking for him to be a good quarterback on their team. He plays the game well.
Nice spin move by John Dungy. He's fouled on the play. Fouled by Nick Thompson. That'll be his first personal. And starting for Cretin Derham Hall, we have Walt Bowser, son of Judge Bowser, Joe Mauer, Andy Fleming, Nick Thompson, and Jimmy Krieger. Starting for St. Paul Central, we got Rasheem Sharp,
Kenny Brown,
John Dungy, Jerry Webb,
and Paul Schultz.
John Dungy's at the line to finish the second of his two free throws. Made the first one, and he makes the second. Well, Bowser brings the ball up the floor for Cretin Derham Hall, setting the offense. Passes it over to Joe Mauer. And back over to Mauer. Bowser with the ball. And we see Walt Bowser Jr., Kwame, very good point guard. Been playing basketball for a long time.
Right, and he's got some good heritage with his dad, Walter. That was a
nice shot by Jimmy Krieger.
Jimmy Krieger, 6'4", senior.
Jerry Webb bringing the ball up against Andy Fleming. Gets tipped away, over and back. Andy Fleming with the ball. Sorry for the delay. Walt Bowser tied up. Jump ball. It will be Cretin's ball on the held possession.
That was a very good play there by Jerry Webb.
Walt Bowser with the ball, passes it over number 23, Andy Fleming. Inside, nice play by Maurer. Ties the game up at 6. Stolen by Bowser, and he loses it out of bounds. Score is tied at 6-6. Checking in the game for St. Paul Central's number 45, Courtney Griffin. Kwame, Courtney Griffin had a very good ball game the last time we seen him play
Yes, he
against
did.
Highland Park.
Yep. I think that he put Courtney in because he's going to need a little stronger defense.
Jerry Webb dribbling up the court, pass it to Rasheem Sharp, who resets the offense for St. Paul Central. Rasheem handling against Walt Bowser, crosses him over, goes to the basket, lays it off for Schultz, passes Aaron, and number 35, Maurer picks it up. Andy Fleming, an old Jimmy Lee prospect, goes against Jimmy Lee. Shot up and no good by Jimmy Krieger. Traveling is the call.
Call was the right one, although it was a little late, but it was the right call.
Referees for tonight's game is Pat Frere and Jim Maurer.
Jim Maurer comes from a long line of referees. Has 4 other brothers who are refereeing, and his father, Kenny Maurer Sr., longtime coach and referee, still refereeing.
One of his brothers is an NBA referee.
Right, Kenny Jr.
And there's a foul as Andy Fleming goes to the basket. And he's fouled. He's fouled by number 23. That's John Dungy.
John Dungy's father, John Williams, was an all-stater for St. Paul Central back in the late 70s.
Andy Fleming's first free throw comes up short. Checking in for Cretin is number, looks like it's gonna be number 21, and that's Joe Smith. And Fleming misses them both. Rebounded by Courtney Griffin. Over to Jerry Webb. Up the court to Rasheem Sharp, who sets the offense for St. Paul Central. Schultz with the ball. Back over to Sharp. Griffin. Dribble penetrates. Pulls up short. Jerry Webb has the ball now. Dribble penetration. He's fouled.
That was a nice save by number 42, Paul Schultz, there as the ball was on its way out of bounds.
That foul's on number 23, Andy Fleming. That'll be his first. Checking in for Cretin is number 33, Winston Bell.
Winston Bell is a wonderful football player. Got a lot of future here.
Winston Bell is also a Jimmy Lee prospect. A lot of these kids played direct basketball for Jimmy Lee Community Center down
exactly
in Oxford there.
Yep. Joe Maurer is one of those players that played for Jimmy Lee. He was quarterback of their state championship football team.
Okay. Passes over back out to Jimmy Krieger with the ball. Over to Nick Thompson. Good player for them last year. Back over to Krieger. Nick Thompson with the shot, no good. Rebounded by Schultz, knocked out of bounds by Winston Bell. It'll be Central ball with 4 minutes left to go in the first quarter here at Cretin Derham Hall High School.
Jimmy Krieger, incidentally, did himself some good this summer in AAU basketball. Minnesota State at Mankato is looking at him.
John Dungy.
Left hand.
Nice shot by John Dungy. Ball brought up the court by Joe Smith. Passes it over to Joe Maurer. Maurer back over. Fleming, no good. Rebounded by Jerry Webb. Ahead to Rasheem Sharp. Tipped away. Rasheem controls the ball. Tipped into the backcourt, so it won't be no backcourt violation. Rasheem Sharp sets the offense against Joe Smith.
Joe Smith is doing a very good job of defending there.
Pass over to John Dungy from Jerry Webb. Down low to Schultz, who finishes the high-low play. Nice play by St. Paul Central.
He went to his left hand that time, Paul Schultz. father teacher at Harding and also the sophomore or the ninth grade coach for St. Paul Central.
Passes over to Joe Maurer, back over to Joe Smith. Smith again with the ball. Inside to Thompson. Back over to Smith, no good. Ball tip. Rasheem Sharp with the ball, pushing the ball up the court. Nice behind the back dribble. Again, a nice behind the back dribble, and resets the offense over to Courtney Griffin in the corner to Jerry Webb. Back up to Rasheem Sharp. John Dungy with the ball. Inside to Courtney Griffin, who pulls up the short shot, no good. Rebounded by Winston Bell. And Cretin Derham Hall has the ball up 10-6 early in the first half.
Courtney Griffin has moved up in the lineup. He was lower in the pecking order. Now he's the first one off the bench. Excellent player, excellent student.
Nice head fake there by Joe Smith. Shot up and good by Joe Maurer. Nice shot. That's a three-point basket by Maurer. Schultz with the ball, brings the ball up the floor, changes mind, brings it back out, passes to Courtney Griffin, who looks to set the offense, can't find Rasheem Sharp. Now he does. Rasheem penetrates, pulls up, and scores. Rasheem Sharp for two.
That looks more like the Rasheem Sharp we know as opposed to the one we saw against Highland.
That was not a two-point basket for Cretin, which makes the score 12-9. Joe Schmidt with the ball. Looks back out to Jimmy Krieger. Smith tries a fancy layup move, doesn't make it.
That was a nice effort there by Joe Schmidt. He's a nice player. Plays good defense.
Courtney Griffin with the ball. Looks inside. Still looking inside, no movement in offense. Finally gets the ball to John Dungy. Schultz
Nice
again.
pass.
Nice pass by Dungy. Kwame Dungy does a very good job of that interior pass.
He sees the floor very well. 6'7", has good soft hands.
That's Joe Smith now with the ball.
He'd be a major college player for John Dungy, that is, if he had a little more weight.
Yeah, a little light in the lower area there.
Yep.
But he's still young.
Yeah.
Pass back out to Smith. Smith penetrates, dumps it into Winston Bell. Winston Bell does gather and score. Nice strong play by Winston Bell.
Winston Bell, very strong player. Fancies himself correctly as a football player.
Oh, and Smith tips it away from Sharp. Winston Bell gets on the ground. Pat gets it to Smith. Smith gets it ahead to Nick Thompson, who gets to Jimmy Krieger. Joe Maurer inside to Bell. Bell back to Smith. Smith for three.
Good.
And that's good. Smith for three.
Excellent ball movement. Excellent ball movement on the part of Cretin Derham Hall.
And the game is tied. 3 seconds left to go in the quarter. Smith from half court. No good. And that's the end of the first quarter. The score, Cretin Derham Hall 14, St. Paul Central 14.
You know, I have to cite Joe Schmidt playing an excellent game. He stole that ball that time, and he's playing tremendous defense. And he's a lot shorter at 5'11" than the 6'3" Rasheem Sharp. But
yeah,
he's playing him very well. Now, if I were coach, I would look at that, and I think I'd send Rasheem down into the paint.
Yeah, let's get Rasheem down around the basket and make him guard him. But the problem with that is you got to have somebody to run your offense. Maybe he lets Jerry Webb handle the ball.
Jerry could do it. Now here's a young man that can do it coming in the game right now.
You know, speaking of young
Kellen
men,
Birch.
speaking of young men, they're without. Where's Brandon Penderhughes?
Penderhughes.
He's not even on the bench. He was a very important player.
Yes, he was.
The last time we watched him play.
Yes.
Hope he's okay.
Me too. I didn't know that he was not going to be here tonight.
That's Kellen Birch with the ball now. Just got it from Jerry Webb.
Another good athlete. They've set a zone. Now Jerry
Webb, don't leave him open. John Dungy with the rebound, back up, and it's good. Big John Dungy gives gives Central a 2-point lead.
Cretin is effective with that zone, and the thing they're going to have to do is pass the ball around real fast and then go to the boards hard. Also, they should, on defense, after they get the board, run down the field with a fast break. That's the only way you can beat that Cretin.
Don't let that Cretin zone set
Right.
up. Winston Bell down low, powering it up, rebounded by Schultz. Finds Jerry Webb, who gets the ball to Kellen Birch, who sets the offense for St. Paul Central. Jerry Webb now with the ball, passes it down. Courtney Griffin. Ball stolen. Walt Bowser on the fast break. Walt Bowser, nice shot. Finishes the play for Cretin Durham Hall.
He went to his left that time. Walt was the one that caused the interception in the first place.
Walt showing the quick hands. Ball down to Schultz. Over to Birch, to Webb. Kenny Brown. Kenny Brown for three.
They call him Downtown Kenny Brown.
Downtown Kenny Brown.
Kenny Brown can really shoot that ball. That's what he's in there for, his offensive skill.
And it shows as he knocks down a big tray ball to give Central a three-point lead here in the second quarter.
I think
now we have Winston Bell with the ball. Back over to Andy Fleming. Fleming handles against Courtney Griffin. Nice defense by Griffin. Oh, that was very close to a 5-second call there. Walt Bowser with the ball. Pass it over to Steve Zachary. Zachary looks inside the Bell, doesn't. Passes it out to Fleming, who hits Maurer. Maurer into Winston Bell, who gets a block by Schultz. Bell might be a little short to be trying to go up without head faking the ball numerous times against that very tall St. Paul Central front line. It's a held ball, so it'll be Cretin ball. 19-16 is the score. Pass inside off the inbounds play to Andy Fleming. And St. Paul Central definitely fell asleep on that play.
They were not set up on their defense, and it was the easiest inbounds play I've ever seen.
Well, that's Jerry Webb, the big gun. He hasn't woken up yet for Central, but when he does, it will be interesting. Jerry Webb back with the ball. He has Schultz. Webb finds Kellen Birch. Back over to John Dungy, who's double teamed in the corner, triple teamed in the corner. Has the ball stolen from him. Has the ball kicked over to John Dungy. Oh, nice hustle. John Dungy and then gets the ball and resets the offense. Jerry Webb has the ball.
Jerry Webb is going to have to get in the game.
Out of bounds by Steve Zachary. It'll still be St. Paul Central ball.
Jerry Webb is going to have to assert himself because Central will not do anything until he does.
That's Kellen Birch with the ball. Now he has the Webb. Webb seems to be picking his chances here. Dangerous pass cross court to Kellen Birch, who does keep it. Schultz for three. And oh, that's money as Schultz knocks down the three.
That's what they wanted that young man to do more often, is to shoot that ball. He's a good shot. Hamlin University is one of the schools looking at him.
Oh, errant pass, saved, and then restolen by Schultz. Then fouled. Fouled on the play. And I believe it's going to be against number 23, Andy Fleming. And that will be his second personal. Jerry Webb for three, no good. Rebounded by Bowser, who goes high, gets away with the push-off. And Bowser brings the ball up, except the Cretin offense over to Steve Zachary. Steve Zachary makes a couple of head fakes, handles the ball, crosses it over against Kellen Birch, goes nowhere. Pass into Fleming, Fleming over to Bowser. Bowser head fakes, gets Jerry Webb in the air, decides not to shoot it. Now he's gonna shoot it, and that's money. Walt Bowser for three.
You cannot give Walt Bowser that much room. He will drop it.
And he did. Nice shot by Walt Bowser.
Actually, in this game, Cretin is much more active than Central. Central standing around both in offense and defense. They're not being creative. There's a shot.
Courtney Griffin from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Fleming. Fleming handles the ball up the court on Courtney Griffin. Dribbles the ball. Finds Walt Bowser inside to Steve Zachary. Zachary has a tip. Mr. Bell picks it up, shoots, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds off a Central player.
Rasheem Sharp and Kenny Brown coming in. Also coming in is Joe Mauer.
Winston Bell.
Joe Mauer, incidentally, is only a sophomore.
I wonder if he is related to the other Mauers. Nice play that time by Steve Zachary. And I don't know what's happening with this St. Paul Central inbounds defense, but it's looking really elementary right now, to say the least.
I would say they're without one.
Rasheem Sharp with the ball up high. We have Cretin Derham Hall in a 1-3-1 zone.
Those are very dangerous passes that Central's throwing. All of them are very high. No zip. There
we go.
There's one that was high.
Through the ball. Kenny Brown threw it over the zone. Against a 1-3-1, Kwame, you just have to get in that 2-1-2 set and move the ball to the closest person to you and try to penetrate those gaps.
You have to go around the outside very quickly with the ball to get them off balance. Then you got one. Central's got enough shooters to do that, to keep that zone off balance.
Here you come, JD.
Mauer with the ball, down low. Mike O'Hara back up to Mauer. Over to Zachary. Bowser fakes the shot, passes it over to Mauer, no good. Rasheem Sharp with the rebound, puts it ahead to Schultz. Schultz to the basket, charge. Nice defensive play by Walt Bowser Jr. That'll be a foul on Schultz, and that's his first personal.
And we've got Cretin, the home team, leading 23-2, 22 rather, with 2:20 left in the half.
Joe Mauer over to Steve Zachary. Zachary back over to Mauer. Mauer head fakes, goes around Schultz. Goes up strong. No foul call. Pass to Sharp, who loses the ball out of bounds.
Sharp was looking at the basket, looking at where he was going to go before he had control of the ball. Therefore, he lost it. He was ready to go.
And we have Jimmy Krieger checking back in for Cretin. Over to Mauer.
You know, there were scouts at that last game. I wish they'd be here tonight. They'd see a much, much better game.
Yeah. Walt Bowser with the ball. Over to Krieger. Krieger fakes, goes back to Mauer, inside to Mike O'Hara. Back to Krieger, no good. And the ball's tipped around, rebounded in to Mauer. Nice play by Andy Fleming.
That's a great play by Fleming.
And that's Rasheem Sharp. Goes backdoor to Kenny Brown, who turns, shoots over the top. Nice play by Kenny Brown, who be shot right over the top of Andy Fleming.
Kenny Brown knows where the basket is.
Yeah, he has no trouble finding the big orange hole.
That's right.
Walt Bowser back over to Jimmy Krieger. And we have nice inbounds play to Michael Hare.
Andy Fleming, another good play.
Nice pass by Andy Fleming.
Bounce pass.
Nice bounce pass. Nice interior passing going on in this ball game. Kellen Birch with the ball. Down low, down in the corner, to Schultz, who gets it back to Birch. Over to Rasheem Sharp, who sets the offense. Rasheem Sharp holds the ball, running some time off the clock. I believe that St. Paul Central is going to take the last shot of the half, unless they get a real good look. Kellen Birch with the ball. 17 seconds left to go in the half. Schultz takes a 3, 2, toe on the line, and it's good. Paul Schultz, nice shot.
Paul Schultz had the rhythm that time.
Inside, stolen by Sharp. Sharp on the push. Pulls up a 3. Basket would not count. And that's the end of the first half with the score. Cretin Derham Hall 27, St. Paul Central 26.
That was a very, very well played half.
Welcome back to the start of the second half of the high school basketball action with Cretin Derham Hall and St. Paul Central taking center stage. Jerry Webb with the ball for St. Paul Central. Pass tipped away. Oh,
that was close, wasn't it?
Back. Kenny Brown over Rasheem Sharp for two. Rasheem Sharp starts the half off by knocking down a long two-point jump shot.
That's what he needs to do.
Walt Bowser with the ball. Back over to Joe Mauer. Nice shot on the, you caught the replay of that last play.
Recent Gopher signee Phil Archer's in the house.
Yeah, that guy did look familiar there, Phil Archer. Excellent linebacker for Cretin Derham Hall. Walt Bowser for three. Kwame Walt's range is from anywhere inside of half court if you don't get a hand.
Exactly.
As Kenny Brown with the ball.
Of course, he's been doing that since he's a little kid.
Yep. I remember him killing me when he played for Jimmy Lee with that same shot. John Dungy, nice shot. Nice move by John Dungy. Tie the score at 30. Walt Bowser with the ball for Cretin. Guarded by Kenny Brown. Over to Mauer. Mauer down to Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson back over to Mauer. Mauer over to Bowser. Back to Mauer.
One thing I've noticed that Central does not do, have their arms up to try to cut off some of that passing lane. All their arms are down to the side.
Exactly. It's making it very easy for
That's right. See there?
Cretin to make them interior passes. Nice defense by Dungy and nice block out. Rasheem Sharp ahead to Jerry Webb, who goes to the basket, and that's a charge. Nice defensive play by Nick Thompson. Nick Thompson seemed to have saw exactly where Jerry Webb was going to go and step right in his path.
He was right there waiting for him.
22nd timeout by Cretin Derham Hall. Scores 30-30.
And Central's coach, Steve Lasley, is not at all happy with what he sees out there.
Well, I mean, his team, let's face it, has more talent. And they are not playing like they have more talent. They are playing very even with Cretin right now. And Steve has got to be unhappy with the effort that he's getting.
Yet, on the other hand, Cretin is not playing above their heads.
No, Cretin is playing their game.
Yes, they are.
You know, they're simply
really
playing
are.
their game.
Yep, they're playing very well, very disciplined. See how
nice
they pass?
Ball movement going right now.
Yep.
Walt Bowser with the ball over to Joe Mauer. Gets himself trapped, which is a very bad thing to do. The ball was almost stolen by Central. Central seems to be in a half-court trap here, so you got to keep the ball out of the corners.
Exactly.
If you're Cretin.
Right.
Joe Mauer with the ball over to Walt Bowser. Pass it to Jimmy Krieger, back to Bowser, who fakes the shot inside the Nick Thompson. Fakes the shot back to Jimmy Krieger, who finds Walt Bowser. Back to Nick Thompson, as Cretin Derham Hall is doing a lot of passing right now to try to get a good shot out of their offense. And they find a decent shot. Shot no good by Mauer. Rasheem Sharp pushes the ball up the court, finds Schultz. Schultz to the basket. Nice move. No good, though, as Joe Mauer has the rebound for Cretin Derham Hall.
Schultz had to change his mind in the air. He went up in the air and was going to pass it off, and his man got covered, so then he had to go to the hoop with it. Kenny Brown has injured his ankle. He's going to be a little immobile.
That's Nick Thompson with the ball in the corner. Pass over to Jimmy Krieger, who has a man open on the backside, doesn't see him. Pass it to Andy Fleming, who finds Walt Bowser. And Joe Mauer resets with Walt Bowser, as Cretin Derham Hall is doing a very good job of being patient in their offense. Pass down low to the corner, again to Nick Thompson, who finds Krieger, who's off, way off on a three-point shot. Rebounded by Mauer. Rebound, the tip, no good. Rasheem Sharp with the ball, bringing the ball up the court, sees nothing, tries to find Dungy, has the pass, tip. Jimmy Krieger to the basket, finds Bowser. Nice play. Nice play there by Krieger.
Timeout.
Another timeout on the
Central.
floor. Timeout by Central. Look at this play. Nice elevation and finish by Walt Bowser on the pass from Jimmy Krieger. Score is 32-30 in favor of Cretin Derham Hall. 3 minutes and 52 seconds left to go in the third quarter of our high school basketball action.
Well, I have to reiterate, this is a well-played game. SPNN is very fortunate to be able to
While
do
we
this
have
game.
a break in the action, Kwame, I want to congratulate you on your upcoming award that's going to be honored in your name, given to the top basketball player at Arlington High School. It's going to be called the Kwame Award. I want to congratulate you on that,
Thank you.
that honor that's being bestowed upon you. Back to live action here. Winston Bell had the ball from Nick Thompson, who passes it over to Joe Mauer. And that's Joe Smith back in the game for Cretin Derham Hall.
He's going to help.
Winston Bell down low to Nick Thompson, who pulls up, no good. Rasheem Sharp with the rebound. And that's a big thing that Rasheem gives to his team, is being a big point guard like that.
Yes,
he
yes.
really gets a lot of rebounds because he's such a big point guard. He's able to out-jump the other
Right.
smaller point guards that play against him.
I think that's one of the genius moves that Steve Lasley made when he made him the point guard as a sophomore.
There's a foul on the play. The foul was on Winston Bell. That's his first personal. Jerry Webb, and still is unable to get on the scoreboard. Well, he has 2 points in the
Yes.
first half, but that is very low for Jerry Webb.
In fact, he made the first 2 points for Central.
And I believe Jerry Webb is averaging somewhere around 15, 16, 17 points a game. So
Yes, he is. He's actually averaging 16 points a game.
ball stolen by Cretin Derham Hall. Joe Smith with the ball for Cretin Derham Hall. Passes it over to Joe Mauer. Sets the offense. Reverse dribbles back over to Jimmy Krieger. Back to Krieger from Bell. Back to Mauer, as Cretin Derham Hall is doing a very good job of making Central play at their pace.
Right.
There's Jimmy Krieger with the ball again. Nice pass. Entered, nice shot. Joe Smith for three. And that's good. Joe Smith. You know, is he related to the Joe Smith that does the television sports broadcasting?
You know, I don't know.
KSTP?
Yeah, I don't know.
Schultz from the corner, no good. Rebounded by Courtney Griffin, who goes up strong with it. Has it blocked by Mauer. Dungy, nice pass by, Dungy finds Courtney Griffin, who blows the layup.
He had it right there.
Nice play by John Dungy.
It's a 5-point game right now. Cretin Derham Hall has been very patient, very methodical, half-court game.
And has a 5-point game right now.
Very few turnovers, very few mistakes.
I think Central's making a mistake right now, sitting back in the zone. I think they need to come out and get Cretin and force the tempo of this game a little bit. Mauer goes right by Courtney Griffin, right when I say that. Very bad defense by Courtney Griffin on that play. Maybe he thought he had some help on the backside there. I don't know, but that was some pretty poor foot movement. And we see a replay here as Mauer goes right by on the basket. The shot was taken by Jerry Webb while we were away. Shot was no good.
You know, one of the things that I notice the players do is when they shoot, they pose instead of following the shot.
Exactly.
And
you gotta follow your shot.
I know they were taught that.
Nice pass by Jerry Webb to Rasheem Sharp.
Beautiful
Finishes
exchange.
Beautifully.
Beautiful exchange.
37-32 with just a few seconds left to go in the third quarter. Smith for three. No good. Rebounded by Webb. Webb doesn't know that the clock was running out, and that's the end of the third quarter with the score. Cretin Derham Hall 37 and St. Paul Central 32.
Well, we're getting ready to go into the fourth quarter. Now, here's what has to happen. Cretin Derham Hall merely needs to play the way they've been playing, continue to control the ball, continue to keep the turnovers down, especially unenforced errors. Central has got to step it up on defense. They've got to speed the game up so that force Cretin to play at their pace. As long as Cretin is able to force Central to play a half-court game and at their pace, Cretin Derham Hall has a good chance
to win the ball game.
Take this
exactly.
game home.
Exactly. And that's exactly what's happening. And Central's doing a smart thing coming out in this man-to-man defense to try to force the tempo here a little bit.
And Kellen Birch will help too because he's on Bowser. And we can look for a good matchup there.
Steve Zachary with the ball, passes back over to Joe Mauer, back to Zachary. Zachary fakes like he's going to drive, doesn't, finds Bowser, who resets to Mauer.
Steve Zachary's father.
Oh, a mix-up on the play.
Steve Zachary's father is on the board of directors of the Minnesota State High School League that sets policy for all of the high school activities in athletics and in the arts.
37-32 is the score here at Cretin Derham Hall High School. 37 is Cretin and 32 is Central at this point. That's Rasheem Sharp with the ball. Still Angelo Dungy in the game for the first time tonight. And he has the ball stolen from him by Winston Bell, who goes in strong. Fouled by Angelo Dungy, and Winston Bell doesn't finish, but will go to the line to shoot two. Kwame, he bullied Angelo for that ball that time.
Yeah, Angelo looks a little rusty. Didn't play the last game. Was out of practice for a while, but is back now. And I think Coach feels like he needs him in near the end here.
Winston Bell knocks down the first free throw to make the score 38-32 in favor of Cretin Derham Hall.
Winston Bell, very impressive young man.
Knocks down both free throws to make it 39-32. And I see his dad must have just entered the building because I can hear him all the way over here.
Yeah, we didn't hear that before, but we hear him now.
Coach Bell, Al Johnson. Sharp pulls up the shot. Miss. Angelo Dungy goes up strong. Angelo Dungy makes his presence felt.
He didn't look rusty that time, did he?
Nope. And let's see if Angelo's going to make a big difference here as they have the Twin Towers in the game now for St. Paul Central. Jerry Webb on the defense. Angelo Dungy being guarded. Oh, Winston Bell goes to the basket. Looks like he fouled there by Rasheem Sharp. There's the replay of Angelo Dungy. Nice soft touch around the basket for Big Angelo.
Yes. Winston Bell is very strong. He took that ball right to the hole, and all those towers were around him.
Winston Bell goes to the basket, go to the line, excuse me, to shoot two. And he makes the first one to make the score 40-34 in favor of Cretin Derham Hall.
I want the fans to remember that name next year for football because they're going to hear a lot about that young man.
Michael Hare with the shot, tipped up in the basket by Winston Bell. Winston Bell's making his presence felt in this fourth quarter. Rasheem Sharp with the ball to the middle of the floor. Resets the offense. Steve Zachary is guarding. Almost loses the ball, finds Kellen Burch, who finds Jerry Webb, guarded by Steve Zachary, stolen by Steve Zachary. Fouled on the play.
Angelo Dungy ran into.
Fouled by Angelo Dungy, who has a second personal. And he's played for about a minute and a half and has 2 fouls already.
Yeah, he was just, he ran and then bumped into him. Couldn't stop his momentum.
Walt Bowser now with the ball for Cretin Derham Hall, guarded by Kellen Burch. Walt Bowser finds Andy Fleming, who finds Winston Bell, who then finds Mike O'Hara. Finds Andy Fleming, misses Winston Bell cutting. Steve Zachary now with pass the ball over to Walt Bowser. Winston Bell with the ball, finds Walt Bowser for 3, and it's good. And it could have been a 4-point play. Nice shot by Walt Bowser to make the score 45-34. And St. Paul Central is in trouble at this point. And they get a 20-second timeout, an 11 full timeout, an 11-point lead for Cretin Derham Hall. Kwame, what's going on right now with St. Paul Central?
Well, St. Paul Central is, they look hesitant. They look as though they've lost a little confidence. I think that one of the things that happened was Cretin Derham Hall came out and played a tough game, and they know now that they can play with these guys. They lost the last game, or a sloppily played game, but both teams came much better prepared tonight, but Cretin looks like they're more prepared than Central tonight. Central's going to have to do an awful lot of turning it around. The whole thing is going to have to change. Well, Kenny Maurer Jr., the
looks like Kenny, the great Kenny Maurer. You probably know him best from his altercation with J.R. Ryder, and I like to tease him about that all the time.
Right.
That's when J.R. Ryder's mother came onto the court, and there was a big funny fiasco there.
He's the NBA official who's came in.
Oh, and there's a turnover, another turnover for Cretin Derham Hall. Or excuse me, for St. Paul Central to be Cretin Derham Hall's ball. Cretin Derham Hall up 11, 45-34 is the score. Walt Bowser with the ball. Walt Bowser finds Andy Fleming over to Winston Bell. Sets the offense for Cretin. Stolen, John Dungy. Oh! No foul called on the play. The fans aren't happy about that one, Kwame.
Well, I think in this case, the Central fans aren't happy. The Cretin fans are glad, and they're breathing a sigh of relief. I think that everybody in the gym felt it was a foul except that particular referee.
Except for Pat Fear. Angelo Dungy with the ball.
Now,
Over to Rasheem Sharp, who finds downtown Kenny Brown, who passes in to Big John, who finds his brother Angelo. Nice play by St. Paul Central to pull them within 9 at 45-36 with a little under 5 minutes left to go in this ball game. Walt Bowser with the ball, cutting to the basket after he found Nick Thompson, who Michael O'Hara throws it away trying to find Steve Zachary.
that's one of the few unenforced errors that Cretin Derham Hall has had. Here comes
Jerry Webb back in the game.
Kenny Mauer's here to take a look at his younger brother, Jimmy, see what he's doing, how he's doing. Of course, Ken Mauer Sr.'s here also. They'll have a lot of critique after the game.
Yes, they will.
For their little baby brother.
Jerry Webb for 3. No good. Rebounded by Andy Fleming, who pushes it up against Jerry Webb, who finds Walt Bowser, who sets the offense. Kwame, Cretin is doing a very good job of controlling the tempo of this ball game.
Yes, they are.
They're keeping the game nice and slow.
That's the secret. Central's a little more aggressive. They look more like they want to play now. They're moving their feet a lot better.
They're playing with a little more of a sense of urgency here.
Yes.
Down 9 with only slightly under 4 minutes left to go in the ball game. Nick Thompson finds Andy Fleming, who was perfectly willing to hold on to the ball. And Cretin is doing a very good job moving the ball around. Steve Zachary misses over the back, and that is called. The foul was by number 41, Nick Thompson. That's his second personal.
Have to give Thompson credit. He made a valiant effort.
3 minutes left to go. Jerry Webb with the ball. Another timeout by St. Paul Central. They can't have many timeouts left. They've used a lot. There's 3 minutes and 36 seconds left to go in the ball game, or in regulation anyways, with the score of 45-36 in favor of Cretin Derham Hall.
That's 9 points. Central still has time, but again, if Cretin Derham Hall continues to play with the assuredness, the confidence that they're playing with, the game looks like it's out of reach. Central is going to have to put a lot more pressure on. They're going to have to speed the game up. They're going to have to get down there real quick, and they're going to have to shoot. They cannot have turnovers.
If I was Steve Lasley right now, I would put Kenny Brown at one wing, Jerry Webb at the other, and then put those two Dungy boys down on the post. You can't double because those guys can shoot the lights out. Right now, he has Kenny Brown on the bench. Rasheem Sharp handling the ball, finds Kellen Birch. Dribble penetration, no good. Tipped away by Walt Bowser. Well, and it'll still be St. Paul Central ball.
Central played that time as if they were ahead and were trying to stall.
Yeah, they did. They're really not attacking the basket like they should.
No.
Dungy almost turns the ball over. Looks like he might have got away with a travel there. It'll be Rasheem Sharp with the ball. Rasheem Sharp now back with the ball for St. Paul Central. Goes to the basket, pulls up, no good. Nice block out by Cretin, but they don't get the ball. Kellen Birch finds Sharp for three. Rasheem Sharp for three.
That's what he's got to do.
45-39. It's now a 6-point game. Central with the press, full court pressure. Nice bounce pass. Walt Bowser with the ball. Nice to Michael Hare. Pump fakes up strong. Fouled by John Dungy. And Michael Hare will go to the line to shoot two for Cretin Derham Hall.
I think John thought he got all ball that time. This was difficult for us to see from this angle, but Jimmy Maurer was right on top of that play.
Yeah, it looked like it was close. It could have gotten a little bit of hand there. Maurer was definitely closer than I was. Michael Hare at the line, misses the first free throw.
You know, it's interesting how referees know more than we do.
Yeah.
And coaches do too, don't they?
Yeah, sometimes. Michael Hare will try to at least get one of these free throws to put his team up 7. 46-39 is the score. Oh, stolen. Nice play by Andy Fleming, who finds Steve Zachary, goes up strong and finishes. That could be the dagger. Let's see what happens. John Dungy with the ball, going strong to the basket, fouled on the floor by Michael Hare.
Dungy went to the basket as he should have. That was a very excellent play there by Steve Zachary.
Kenny Brown back in the game, finds Kellen Birch, who finds Rasheem Sharp. Over to John Dungy, makes a spin move to the basket, spins right into Walt Bowser. Very bad decision by John Dungy. And Walt Bowser is in no hurry. 2 minutes left to go. Up 9 is Cretin Derham Hall, and this could be a pretty big upset in the St. Paul City Conference. Fouled there by Kenny Brown. That foul was on number 35, Kenny Brown. That's his first personal. That's only the 16th foul. They're not yet in the bonus. Nice round of applause for Steve Zachary as he goes out the game having made a couple of big-time defensive plays.
He did his job.
Walt Bowser with the ball for Cretin, guarded by Jerry Webb. Oh, and Nick Thompson just dribbles the ball off his foot. And that's one thing I don't understand is why they would take the ball handling of Steve Zachary out of the game and leave Nick Thompson in the ball game. but he's the coach.
Yeah, and the other thing is Cretin didn't need to go to the basket that time.
They don't. They need to bring the ball out.
Yeah.
Kenny Brown to the basket, finds Jerry Webb. That's no good. Jerry Webb has just been off. He's been very, very off today, which has given Central a very hard time at winning this ball game. Andy Fleming with the ball over to Bowser. Timeout, Cretin Derham Hall.
I'm going to tell you something that I like. Central is not intentionally fouling Cretin Derham Hall. I like that. I like for them to play it straight because I have not yet seen a multitude of fouls at the end of the game change the outcome. They do it all the time, foul on purpose, and I still have not seen that strategy work.
Well, being a coach, it works, like you said, not at the end of a ball game. Then maybe if you got a very bad free throw shooting team, you may want to start fouling earlier to get your team back in the game if you're down, like say in double figures, and you want to try to get yourself back in the game that way. But at the end of a ball game, it's very hard when you're down this many points to foul yourself back into the game. If it was a 4-6 point game, then then possibly, but being down almost 10, it may be a little difficult to do. But if a team misses some free throws, you can get you back into a ball game really quickly if you can get them to miss. But Cretin Derham Hall is definitely not a poor free throw shooting team by any stretch. I think they've made all their free throws today. Maybe they missed one. Joe Mauer, he traveled. Oh, did you see that? He switched pivot feet. Timeout. Timeout. Cretin Derham Hall. We can get a replay on that. I like to show the audience a classic example of bailing yourself out of a trap and getting away with it. He switched his pivot feet to get himself away from the trap so he can call that timeout.
You think the referees might have been watching from the waist up? The referees were watching from the waist up that time.
Yeah, they must have been. They must have been.
Ask Kenny.
I don't know.
Kenny.
Maybe we could talk a little bit with Kenny Mauer. Maybe we could talk a little bit with
Ask him how does it feel to be employed again.
Kenny, how does it feel to actually have a job?
Wait a minute now. Who said I didn't have a job?
Well, I mean, the players were on strike. You couldn't do much but probably sit home in your $1 million house and watch TV.
You're starting all these rumors again. You always start these rumors. First of all, I had a job. First of all, we just were on a little bit of a layoff for about 4 or 5 months. It's great to be back. I was in Seattle and Sacramento last weekend, and it's just great to be back. I think everybody in the league is glad to be back, and everybody's working hard to just put out a good product and then make the NBA the basketball, the sport that it is. I mean, I have not heard one person in the entire time I've been back be negative. And we were a little bit worried of that, thinking that maybe the people wouldn't come back. But I'd say it's been nothing but positive. And
I think that was media hype.
I do too, Kwame.
Yeah.
I do too.
That's
Media hype, yeah, they're always, they have a tendency to be negative sometimes, but the people haven't been negative. Everybody's glad to be back. The players are working hard. Some of them got to get in shape, and et cetera, et cetera. But hey, they're trying. And we're going to be right back where we were in a hell of a lot shorter time than I thought.
Well, it looks like we're going to be at the end of this ball game here real soon. That's Rasheem Sharp shooting a 3, rebounded by Cretin. Kenny, what are you doing in town?
I have to work this week, coming up. I have to work here.
Wolves game.
Yeah. Then I go to Chicago, and then I go on the road quite a bit after that. But it got me home to do a game, and with the weather, I'm glad I'm here. It's better here than it was in Sacramento.
Yep. Exactly.
Glad you had a chance to come back and visit, Kenny. It's always glad to see you back.
I always try to come. I have a relative that plays, and my family's all here. My little brother refs the game, so I try to, I can't get enough of it. When I'm home, I go sit in a gym. We're nuts. I'm just like you two. We're a little goofy.
Is that your relative at the free throw line right now?
A sophomore.
Is he your, what is he to you?
He would be my cousin's son. So I guess that'd be a second cousin, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's Rasheem Sharp with the ball for St. Paul Central going. Angelo, John Dungy.
That was beautiful.
Play by John Dungy.
Beautiful.
Nice play. Timeout Central. So Tell me a little bit about the quality of play that you've seen in your first 2 games. Do you think that things are going to get back to normal real soon?
The first game I had, Seattle beat Dallas in an overtime game. I mean, I'm not saying that either team shot particularly well. I'm not saying that there wasn't turnovers that normally wouldn't be turnovers, but hey, they played hard. The place was packed. The fans all came out. They played hard, and Dallas could have won the game. So I think intensity early on this season has been. The next game I had was Vancouver at Sacramento. The intensity was there too. Chris Webber played awfully well, and so I think they're coming out of the chute wanting to do as well as they can. Some of them just aren't in that good a shape, and they're making mistakes turnover-wise they normally wouldn't. They're not handling the ball. They're not crisp. And plus, you got to remember that there's a lot of teams that, hey, there's some teams that they don't have 5 players from last year on the team.
That's right.
So when you put all that together, when you put all that together, give them a couple weeks, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, what we could do is we could invite them to your court in the summertime to play against people like me. And, I'm not sure.
It'd be tough. It'd be tough. In the offseason, they probably wouldn't have that intensity that you and I have, huh?
Yeah.
But they're welcome, aren't they?
They're welcome.
Yes, they are.
They're welcome.
Yes, they are.
Well, thanks a lot, Kenny. Appreciate you stopping by and talking to me. It's good to see you, too. Well, there seem to be fouling to keep this game going on a long time here. Joe Mauer's back at the line, and he knocks down the free throw to put Cretin Durham Hall up 10. And Kwame, I think Cretin Durham Hall is safe to say they have stolen this ball game from St. Paul Central.
Yes, they have. I don't know if we can use the word stolen. They just took it.
Exactly.
They
earned it.
They earned it. Yes, that's right. They earned this one.
Jerry Webb goes to the basket and gets a basket in garbage time here.
That's the first time it looked like the Jerry Webb that we know.
And Jerry Webb picks up a foul. And now, Kwame, your fouling theory is definitely correct. You do not foul at this time. There's no way they're going to be able to get back in 9 points down with 11 seconds to go.
All it does is keep the hard-working broadcasters from SPNN up late.
Just when we got to go to our hard-working paying jobs in the morning.
That's right. Here goes Jimmy Krieger hitting
Krieger
another one.
line.
He's a good player, good shot.
And like I said, that theory would be good if you were playing a bad free throw shooting team, but Cretin Durham Hall has knocked down the majority of their free throws. Rasheem Sharp straight to the basket. And it looks like St. Paul Central has come up short. 54-45 is the final score. Cretin Durham Hall pulls off the mild upset here to push themselves into a tie for second place in the St. Paul City Conference. And Highland Park, as we know it right now, is sitting alone the top of the St. Paul City Conference unless they lost to Harding tonight, which I doubt.
Yeah, I got it. Although Harding has a couple of players and they play very well. And with that hard game that they played against Central last week and pulling off a win against a very strong Central team, Highland could be a little down. Harding, we saw, you remember, played a great game against Humboldt and won in overtime. We have with us a recent signee with the University of Minnesota, and he's a senior here at Cretin Derham Hall in the person of Phil Archer. Go ahead.
How you doing, Phil?
Pretty good. How are you doing?
How do you feel about your signage with the Minnesota Golden Gophers?
Oh, great. Couldn't feel better about it.
What made you pick the Gophers over all the other schools that were recruiting you?
It's close to home and a rising program, and I feel that'd be a great choice. Not much better opportunity. I mean, there's a lot of programs with tradition, but this is building tradition, and I don't think it's better than that.
Did the signing of Thomas Tepe make you a little happier?
Yeah, it made me a lot happier, having a friend go there with me, someone I know and I can relate to. So, yeah, obviously.
How's it going to feel playing with them instead of against them and trying to tackle them all the time?
Oh, we'll probably still be going at it in practices and everything, I guess. But it'll be fun. It'll be a good experience for both of us, I think. So.
Well, good luck to you, Phil, and we'll be looking forward to watching you on Saturdays
Thanks a lot.
next year. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. That was Phil Archer. senior here at Cretin Derham Hall and a recent signee from the Minnesota Gophers, the Golden Gophers. Well, we're about to tie it up now, and as you can see, Cretin Derham Hall in their home won this game 54-45.
Well, for SPNN and all of our employees and staff here, my name is Troy Russell. And for Kwame McDonald, we want to thank you for watching. And you can catch this ball game on a rebroadcast, or you can mail in your $25 to SPNN and get a copy of this game. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.